1, 2, 3. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed.
Bottoms up. Now a warning. Now a warning?
Hello.
Hi and welcome.
Welcome back to Doom Generation.
We're here, you're here, we're
This
all
is
here.
Nicole,
And I'm Tessa.
and we are midway through Spooky Month.
Spooky times. It's Nicole's birthday today.
Happy birthday to me.
Da-da-na-na-na-na. You say it's your birthday.
Da-na-na-na-na.
It's my birthday in 2 weeks.
Yep. We are both October babies.
Yes, but you're a Libra and I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah. You know what you could give us for my birthday and her birthday? You could join our Patreon.
Oh, do it. Yeah, that'd be so good. That'd be a good gift.
Patreon.com/Doom Generation. So today, we're going to do something. We're going to do something we have done on my birthday before,
Yes.
which is to enjoy Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, where did we go? We
We went to
the
Sinespia at the
Forever-
Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
Yes.
And we will post pics.
Of our trip there. We went and saw Death Becomes Her.
We
on your
sure
birthday.
did. In the Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
It was good.
And Kim was there with us then,
That's
and
right.
she is there with us
She's
now.
here now. She was there then. She's here now.
She is our Liesel today.
Liesel van Rumen.
She's going to give us everlasting life.
Siempre vive. Live forever.
So I
Turn
told-
into Ricardo Montalban again. I know it.
So if you want to see those photos, follow us on Instagram at Doom Generation Pod
Hey,
or on Twitter at
segue
Doom Gen
queen.
Pod. And call us. Leave us a message at 702-720-DOOM.
We love them, really.
702-720-3666. Do it. So yes, we love this movie. I mean,
Yes.
what is not to love about this movie?
Everything about it is correct.
Dark comedy.
Mm-hmm.
We got Goldie Hawn as Helen Sharp.
Meryl Streep. The Streep?
The Streep.
The Streep.
Who was my age.
Yes.
So in this film, Meryl Streep turned 43, like, I guess, right
she-
before
yeah.
during the making of this. And I will be 43 while you're listening to this.
Yes, it's in the future from now.
You
but
don't let me know whether I look better than Meryl Streep.
you
movie, I don't
shut
wanna
up. We're
know.
going to try to get our hands on the potion before then.
Right?
You just
Bruce Willis as Dr. Ernest Menville, and he was only
37.
37 in this. And Isabella Rossellini.
Yes, as Liesel van Truman. Yuck, when you say it.
And I'm sure lots of other people, but that's all I wrote down.
And she was 39. I mean, since we're just aging everybody.
And then in this, she said she was 71, and she's really,
in real life, she is 70
she's
years
really
old now.
70,
She
and
looks
she looks
fabulous.
She looks gorgeous.
Gorgeous doll, and everybody does.
She's had no work done, and she still looks beautiful.
Yes. And then we also have Nancy Fish as Rose. She's been in some shit.
Okay.
Maid Lady, and then Ian Ogilvy as Mr. Chagall.
Okay.
So there you go.
So we open on Broadway
Oh God,
in
this
1978.
this music, I'm excited already.
Madeline Ashton in Songbird.
People are like walking out.
It
Like,
is
she's
bad.
awful.
Per the exiting patrons, this is not a good show.
What do I see?
And then me, her
I
me,
see
me,
me.
song.
I see me. Oh my God. It's so.
She does look fabulous.
She does. And like Ernest is like, there's people.
Oh, Ernest is
sleeping.
loving it.
There's
So-
more people leaving, but
Yes.
he's like wrapped. It's like she's sensational. And then we have the disco, the. It's so bad.
He gives a standing ovation.
He's on his feet.
Just him, wooing
whooping
and
that-
all. Yep.
Mhm.
Woo! And his his
Oh.
fiance, Helen
Right.
Goldie
She's
Hawn,
like-
is
she's
like,
been
oh, great.
twisting that hanky, man. She's on edge. With those bangs and that blunt
It's a
cut.
tight, yep, that was a tight
She
cut.
is tense.
So they go backstage because it turns out that Helen and Madeline are old friends-ish, frenemies.
Wrinkled little star. Hope they never see the scars.
And now she's got guests, so she gets all sexy for Helen and
she
her
like
guests.
practices her. Wait, no. Like, she like moves her little thing like. Like, oh yeah, go ahead and open the door.
Mad.
Hell. Yeah. And she's like, don't you dare say how long. It's been so long, but like, don't you dare say.
And she introduces her fiance, the plastic surgeon.
Oh,
who
tell
works on
me,
celebrities.
do you think I look like I'm starting to need you? And Helen's like, mm-mm.
And then she asks if they have set a date yet for their wedding.
And he says no, and she says yes. And like,
Trouble in paradise.
seems that way. And that hanky's getting tighter at the minute. That blunt cut's getting blunter
And then we
at the minute.
flash to the doctor in surgery, and Mad is at the door with flowers.
Champ and flowers. And like, Helen is distraught that they've met up for dinner. He's like, it was a business dinner.
Like, what business?
It was fine. This is what we do. And she's like, no, this has happened before. That's why I needed you to meet her
This is
before
the test of the
wedding.
emergency Madeline Ashton system.
This is only a test.
And you failed. Please don't fail. I couldn't take it again.
Right.
So
and
yeah,
it's
so
like,
Madeline's always stealing men from Helen.
and he's like, I have absolutely no interest in Madeline Ashton. And whoop.
Bam,
Bum,
bam, bam,
They cut to their
bam,
wedding,
bam,
and
bam,
it's
bam.
not Ernest and Helen.
Nope.
It's Ernest and Madeline.
And you see Helen has now wrung that hanky
She's
until
so
she is bleeding.
She's got the stigmata.
Oof. And then 7 years later.
Another 7
years
years
later.
later. We see her like big ass and like her many cats and her squalor.
She has gained a few pounds and cats.
And she's eating frosting directly out of the
Yes.
tub. And bitch, don't come for me.
I do
I
that.
will eat that. I don't have quite as many as she had in her whole cabinet.
No. But if I got it, because you
I
don't
will eat
necessarily
with a
use the whole
graham
can of
cracker?
frosting
No,
on a
not in one
cake. So
sitting.
like, you
Well,
got
I
that
was like,
leftover.
no, you never eat the whole thing in one.
No, I mean like if I open it to make a cake and then there's like that quarter left of the
Right,
can, like
yeah.
you're not gonna throw that away. You're
No,
gonna eat it with a spoon,
I'm gonna eat it with a graham cracker,
or
just
or a graham
spoon.
cracker, whatever.
It's delicious.
So the
good.
landlord's knocking,
Yeah, like
She's
this
being
is-
evicted.
This is your final eviction notice.
and she is watching Madeline on like I guess a soap opera.
It's a movie or something,
Or a
that
movie
she
of the
did in
week.
which she like gets killed, and
Yes.
she's rewinding it and watching over and over
Just
again.
smiling.
And they finally break in to tear her away, and she like one more time
Gotta watch it one more time.
rewinds it, and she's like holding on to the door frame just long enough to see her
Get strangled.
die
So then she's institutionalized.
at the treatment center, and she's like, she's like, Helen,
Group therapy, and they're
been a
like, "Do
long
you want to
time.
talk?"
Do you want to talk about anything? She's like, yeah, I want to talk about Madeline Ashton.
And the other patients like cover their ears and scream
they
like,
start
"Please!"
screaming. Like even Helen seems unnerved. Like
The doctor covers her face and is just
it's
like,
like 6 months of therapy, and this is all we got. You still like just you need to let it go for you to have a life. For any of us to have a life.
you have to completely eliminate her from your mind. And all she hears
like,
is
"What?"
eliminate her and is like, yeah,
You're right.
You're right.
You're
do that.
absolutely right. And she's fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 years later, again,
In Beverly Hills.
a delivery arrives for the Menvilles.
Oh God, I was trying to figure out what this word is. This word is misspelled, and it was like Devereux. And I'm like, what was I trying to write? Devereux.
Blanche Devereaux?
I don't know who I thought was coming, but apparently the word was delivery.
Ah. The maid's bringing Madeline breakfast in bed, and she has
she's
all the anti-aging
Snoring.
contraptions
She's like
on.
sleeping upright with the patches and the neck, chin, face support.
I'm almost there, girl. I'm almost there.
I'm like, I think about this all the time. Like, if I could get someone come in, you look absolutely fabulous. Like, aren't you forgetting something? Like, it's only Thursday.
I need to hear it every day.
I think I need to hear it every day now. It's like, oh, you're looking younger.
So she gives her tickets to Helen Sharp's book party that night.
She's like, like the cackle.
The name of the book is Forever Young.
and eternally fat.
Ernest slept in his office again.
She finds it hard to believe that he woke up early and made his side of the bed.
So the maid finds him on the floor. She brings him up his Bloody Mary breakfast.
Is this an angel
and
I see
aspirin
before me?
Thank you, Rose.
You're so cute.
He takes a sip and more vodka.
Is it up yet?
Yes, sir. It's in the bath.
Oh, Mr. Franklin was beeping you.
He tries to sneak out without her hearing, and
Like-
but she comes out at the same time.
Oh, it's you. You're dressed. A special occasion?
Work.
Ghoul.
And then you see that he is now working on celebrity dead people.
Fernando Rivas was found in his hot tub with his 18-year-old fiance, and he's got this look on his face that's completely inappropriate.
Gotta fix that.
He was like, we need to give him some depth. He's like, no, people will want to recognize him.
Needs to look the way he always.
Right. And he's got this look on his face, that grin, like, yeah.
He died happy.
He did. He went out happy. They should set him up. They should put him in, like, you know those funerals that they do?
Oh God, where they make him like
set the
just
people
hanging
up?
out.
They could put him in, like, a little hot tub.
Oh my God.
Like, have a whole thing. Like, it'd be a party.
There's got to be an issue with putting a corpse in a hot tub, though.
Well, no, not
Health
with
and
water. I'm just
safety-wise.
saying like a setup, like a little mock-up. Like, you don't have to put
Oh,
water
okay,
in
okay.
it. Like, you just make it look like he's sitting in a hot tub. Like, just like they had the boxer and they stood him up in the ring. And the
my
Nana they had with the cards in her hand and her cigarette in her hand. Like, you know.
Don't do that to me.
I want to be stuffed, so like, I want to be
Who's gonna
stuffed.
keep your ass?
That's gonna. If I ever had a fortune, see, this would be contingent.
You're
on the-
gonna
I
be
would
in
go
the
up
corner
at
of Green Gardens. I was just
That's
gonna
what I'm saying.
say.
You're gonna keep my ass, bitch.
Oh no! I'm gonna have to
Whoever's-
have a
it'll be
taxidermy
like-
best friend.
It'll be like a Tontaine. Whoever's the last one living gets to keep it.
Jesus. Oh, one of us is gonna get stuck with a life-size.
Whoever's like the last
taxidermy.
one living has to gather. Like, you got to catch them all.
Oh my God!
And then, like, when the last one goes, then we go to a museum.
are we all gonna get taxidermied?
Sure.
We're gonna start a collection.
Just decided.
Line us up.
Yeah.
All right.
Like gem dolls. Gem is exciting.
So I'm gonna dress you as
Gem.
which one you want to be?
Mm.
Synergy. There you go.
Yeah.
We'll be the
Our songs are
Misfits.
better. We are the Misfits. The Misfits. We're going to get her.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I want to be pizzazz. That's what I want to be.
So Madeline arrives at this spa where these bizarre beauty treatments are happening.
Yeah, she's got a really important party tonight, and we see that when they go down the hallway,
Somebody's getting like flipped
there's
around
like a weird,
and
they're like someone's in traction, and like the way that it's filmed, the way the door closes, like you could see the whole thing. It's weird. It's very 4 rooms.
so she wants a plasma separation, which I don't know if that's a thing.
We just did that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, she just had one. You're only supposed to have 1 in 6 months.
Right. She's like, do you even hear me? You just stand there with your 22-year-old skin and your tits like rocks and laugh.
She offers to pay her extra, and that's when Mr. Chagall clears his throat behind them.
He's just appeared.
Yes, he's
on
just
the
there on the couch.
Chaise.
He's
like,
very
just go
sensitive to her
away.
torment.
Yeah, just I don't want to see. She's like, oh, Mr. Chagall, I'm sorry. It's like one of my favorite parts of the movie where the accent just disappears. Oh, I love it.
And so he's telling her they are restricted by nature, and his eyes twitching.
Right. I wonder if he's also like he knows about this and he's also dead and he like fixes people. Like
Maybe.
if only they were just able to get back in good graces
To
with
Dr.
everybody.
Chagall.
If they could get back to Dr. Chagall, they didn't need Ernest.
Possibly.
If they would have thought of that,
Maybe that's why his
first.
eye is twitchy.
That's what I thought. Like maybe he's a corpse and he's just able to hold it together because he knows all these treatments.
Maybe.
And that's how he's able to be like, boo, I'm right behind you.
So he asks if she's ever heard of Liesel von Rumen.
No, you wouldn't have. It's a very exclusive group.
But so he may be able to help her, or she may be able to help her, and he gives her
Right.
her card.
He's like, I couldn't help but overhear that joke about money being no object. She's like, that was no joke.
Nope.
And he's like, okay, well, I remind you, it's a very select, like he turns off the camera.
Mm-hmm. A very, very select group, you understand.
Right. And he's like, we shall be seeing more of you, I think. Yes, I think so.
So then Madeline and Ernest are in the limo, and he is breathing too hard.
It's like, could you just not
Just
breathe? And
not
he, like,
breathe. And they get to the bar at the party, and Vivian Adams introduces herself and says, "You did a great job on my Aunt Esther."
Right. Like, what's your secret? And like, she's like, it was almost a shame to bury her. Like, again, was she going to keep her at Green Gardens? See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And his secret is spray paint, mannequin paint.
Like, she's horrified. Like,
She
bitch, you
is.
asked. Like, nobody
Why
wants
would
to
you
know.
ask?
Nobody wants to know how the sausage is made. Like, don't ask those kinds of questions.
Nope.
Of a undertaker.
Nope.
If you do not want to know what was done to your aunt's body post-mortem, it's not cute. She had a butt plug, ma'am. That's what she had.
If you guys didn't know,
They put a butt
they
plug.
put a butt plug.
They plug it up. Plug it up. Plug it up.
Straining things.
So
will
nothing
drain.
comes out.
You don't want that.
That you don't want leakage.
Leakage.
Yes, I think we should be seeing more of you.
So they're looking for Helen, Ernest and Madeline, and they're like, "Oh, there's a frumpy lady. That's got to be her." And she steps aside
And she is ravishing.
in that red dress with
We're
that red
leaving.
hair. Yeah, and Ernest's like, "No, let's go talk to her."
I'll
No.
go talk to her.
And she approaches her, and then she turns around trying to escape, but she's seen. Hell. Oh, I don't believe in Helen, darling. Yes.
Look, you have a ways.
Oh, you haven't changed.
Yeah, she's like, I'm glad you came. I told my publicist, and she was like, Madeline Ashton goes to the opening of an envelope.
I fired her. Well, I almost fired her.
I thought about firing her.
So there are people coming up to her to get their book signed, and Madeline says Ernest is a dream, and she just doesn't deserve it because it came at Helen's expense.
But I never blamed you. You didn't steal him.
He went
to you. It wasn't you. It was him.
And
I
then
never blamed you.
she gives her a big kiss on the cheek, which she had done in the dressing
Previously,
room,
Madeline
left the
had done that
lipstick.
to her.
Yeah. And Madeline reveals she is 50 to the people,
Right.
and they're like all incredulous.
Oh, like that just makes it even worse. Like she was 46 at the time,
Yeah.
which is still, she looks great.
She looks great.
But yeah,
So she sees Helen taking Ernest aside and follows them.
she gets all spy like, dig, 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 gets behind that fern.
I didn't know you were so unhappy.
I never could lie to you.
I know about the work you're doing now.
Right. She's taken a brilliant,
A brilliant
Well, yo.
surgeon and turned him into an undertaker.
right. She's like, I never blamed you. She's a woman. A woman,
An
Ernest. From Newark, for
God's
God's sake. I'll never forgive her for what she's done to you.
So she's playing both sides.
Right.
So then Ernest is looking at old pictures of him and Helen back at home.
He watches Madeline leave in the night, and he's thinking heavy about Helen. And Madeline goes to Dakota.
Her boy toy.
Oh, and like he
He
comes
is not
out
alone.
all goofy. She's like, "Oh my God, you're not alone."
Who is she? Who is the little piece of meat?
He's like, "It's not even like that. It was like it was like the maybe I don't know, like she came earlier on the thing. Like if you're gonna lie, at least lie quickly. Like I'm trying to."
And then he's like, look, I'm sick of your shit. I'm
Well,
doing you a favor.
First, he tells her like it's totally innocent, and then she sees her naked ass, and
Yeah.
and then he's like, "You know what? Yeah, I'm tired of it." And like someone told me the other day, we look ridiculous together. Go find someone your own age, Madeline. And oh,
And it starts to rain on her.
yes, it do.
And she's driving crazy and crying in the rain, having her moment. She sees herself in the rear view and screams.
Slams on the brakes in the middle of the road and dumps out her purse, and she finds the torn card.
Mm-hmm.
And then back at Helen's place, she's practicing her dramatics. Madeline, I need to speak to Madeline at once.
Yes.
No.
Squirting a little air in her eyes to try to make her cry.
Madeline, I need to speak to Madeline at once.
And she blows out the
Yeah.
candles,
And she's got
licks
this
her lips,
Shrine.
and zooms out. And yeah, there's like a
Ooh.
hate shrine
Did
to
you
Madeline.
look at this? There was like a throat
Never
cut with
again.
the blood and like the
Yes.
eyes X'd out. It was dark.
She was out for blood.
She has not let this go. So then we find out that Madeline has gone to Liesel. She's pulling up to this long driveway.
like a castle, practically.
Right. Like, have you never seen this? It had to have been somewhere.
Right? It wasn't,
Or-
you didn't drive that far.
Right. Like, it had to have been something you'd seen before. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
So she goes to ring the bell and the door opens. She is expected.
She's been expecting the little manservant opens
Little
the door.
manservant, little hottie at the door
little
knows
Tom,
her name.
Dick, or Harry. Hey, man.
Why he dressed like a circus performer though?
Why not?
He tells her to wait in the foyer.
Because he's doing the acrobatics. That's why.
And he goes, and then an elevator comes up.
And it's dogs.
It's got 2 Dobermans in it. And they just go on their merry way.
Yeah, that's their thing. Just remember that for later.
The hotties come back to, or the hottie comes back to escort her.
And
And the dogs are sitting patiently by this small table.
on either side of a table. And then there's like another man all stretched out on the chaise.
On the chaise longue,
And he
on the chaise
gestures-
longue.
The chaise And he gestures for her to sit down. She's like, make some room for my friend.
Yes, and then you see that Liesel is in a chair nearby.
But keep your ass handy.
And this necklace top,
Oh, yes. God. Is it La Croix?
right?
Is it La Croix?
She said they glued jewels to her nipples to make sure that her
glue
nipples
jewels
didn't show.
to my nipples.
And she tells Madeline that she has one of the most beautiful faces ever to grace the silver screen.
Right. And she just got back into town, that she follows the spring.
She hasn't seen a winter or autumn in years.
Yes.
Madeline's like, I don't know why I came. And Liesel's like,
You're scared as hell.
of yourself, of the body you thought you once knew.
I'm the one who understands.
So back at home, Helen has arrived looking for Madeline, but she is not home.
Oh, thank God.
So she invites herself in.
She comes in with this gown, this Jessica Rabbit gown.
Ask me to go. Ask me to leave this house immediately.
She's just like, you just got here. It's like,
It just took me a moment, a glimpse, and I was right back where I started.
you're a powerful sexual being, Ernest. Yeah.
I wasn't the kind of girl who could say the word sexual without blushing before, but I can now.
Sexual, sensual, sexy, sex, sex, sex. And he drops his drink.
Nobody has flirted with this man
No,
in
well, who's
14
gonna flirt with
years.
this man?
Yeah.
He's not a powerful sexual being. I'll tell you that much. I doubted he was very much of a sexual being before.
Right?
He was
Before
a shell of a
ruined.
man.
Yeah.
Before he was runt.
So back to Liesel's. She is checking out Madeline's old hand. And hey, okay, I'm looking at my
alright, I
hands and they
know.
don't look like fucking Meryl Streep's hands. I
They
ain't
don't
got
look
no
like
spots.
that. Ooh.
Oh, no.
No.
Did you-
Why'd you make me look at my hands? Bitch.
Are they old?
Unless that's a stigmata. Is that
Oh
dirt?
no, you got
I
stigmata.
might.
We're gonna cover that movie later on.
Well, we're going to have to because we can't not. We must.
You got to.
They're veiny. They're
Yeah. Oh no.
gnarled.
Yeah. Mine are veiny for sure.
I had to put
They
my
don't look
hands behind
youthful,
me.
but they don't look
No.
like her hands looked right here.
Well, they don't.
No liver spots.
I don't have pretty hands.
Life's ultimate cruelty
Mm.
offers us a taste of youth and vitality, and then makes us witness our own decay.
Well, it's the natural law.
Screw the natural law.
Woo!
She
goes
approaches the little table.
with the potion, and she puts the dagger in her waistband
She
and she-
brings the box.
with the Unk of Life.
It's got this beautiful thing inside, this potion, this
Fabergé
glowing
egg.
potion,
It's
and this
like,
Fabergé
poof,
egg. Yes.
Pink magic.
It's what you came for. A
A
touch,
touch
of magic.
of magic in a world obsessed with science.
A tonic. A potion.
What does it do? Like
How old do you think I am?
I,
Don't try to flatter me.
I wouldn't. Like 38. I know her face. 28? 23?
I am
Like, okay.
71 years old. Like, why are you offended at 38 if you're
I
71,
know.
ma'am? Relax.
38's good.
That's good.
That's good.
So she
It's
explains,
younger than me.
right? She explains that that's what this does. It stops the aging process dead in its
And
tracks.
forces it into retreat.
Drink that potion and never grow any one day older.
Don't drink it. Continue to watch yourself rot.
How much is it?
Oh, the
So she
sordid
writes a
topic
figure.
of coin. Yeah, and she burns it. She's like, pff,
Well, for me, how much?
right.
So she shows her a number and she just laughs. I gotta go.
Yeah, never mind. Thank you. And she's like, sit down. And she comes over with that dagger and cuts her finger and puts the potion in the wound in her hand, and it's healed
Ah, what are
again.
you nuts?
Yeah,
Watch.
yeah. Watch.
Watch. Anyone?
Watch.
Watch. You guys know what we're referring to? Gotta go back
Ace
some
of
episodes. Yeah. So yeah, puts the dagger tip in the potion, then puts it on her finger, and the veins and spots disappear before her eyes.
Could you imagine if you still decided not to and you just had like one
One
good
young
hand?
hand. Well, that's what Ernest has at the end.
That's true.
Check
you should-
okay?
Yeah, fine. But you must make me a promise. Keep it a secret, and you'll have 10 years of unchanged beauty. And then after that, you must disappear from the public view forever. That you can retire or stage your own phony death. Or as one client simply said, I want to be alone.
So she writes the check, chugs the potion.
Mm-hmm.
Now a warning.
Now a warning?
Take care of yourself. You and your body are going to be together a long time.
Be good to it.
Live forever. Siempre viva.
She takes a little jewel thingy off her titties and puts it on her top.
And she stops at the mirror before leaving. And at first she's like, well, what the fuck?
Nothing
I look the same.
happened.
But then,
Do-do-do-do-do.
whoop,
Do-do-do-do.
titty lift.
They guess they made like a pneumatic bra to try to get it to do the thing, but that didn't look right. So they just had her dresser get behind.
Just stand
and, like,
behind.
boop,
She
boop.
got a Janet Jackson bra.
She got a Janet Jackson.
What about them buns?
Miss Janet, if you're nasty. That was probably a fake ass.
Oh, okay.
Fake
So
ass.
the buns lift, the bosoms lift.
She's
I'm a
glowing.
girl.
I'm a girl.
And so before we get to the next piece, we're going to take a quick break.
Because now we're girls.
We'll be right back. All right, one thing you guys may not know about Doom Generation Podcast is we are some cheapskates.
Dude, we do not like to spend the coin at all.
So when we were about to do this podcast, we did some major searching into what is the cheapest way
We did more research into how to do this than
that
we
we
do
do for
into
the
our
podcast.
podcast.
And let me tell you what, this Anchor is like the only free platform that distributes your podcast for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole bunch of other places.
You can do all kinds of stuff when you're doing it too. You can record your sound effects, you can manage your episodes, and you can track your little analytics.
Yep, you can see where everybody's listening from, how often they're listening.
From your phone, from
Yep.
your computer.
You
Like
can
we
record from
probably
your
still
phone.
would not have had any episodes out.
If it were not
If
for
it
Anchor,
were not for not, if it
this
were not for
podcast
Anchor,
would
we
not be in your
we
ear
would
holes
still-
right now.
No, it would not. We would still be just recording it for ourselves.
Yep, listening back to ourselves in the
Laughing at our
garage.
own jokes.
So if you would like to have a podcast, but you don't know if you want to spend any money, you need to go get this Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started now.
And we now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
All right, we're back.
We're back, and Helen's on her back.
Oh!
Or no, Ernest is on his back. And they're making
Making
it
out.
out. Mactown, USA, back at the house.
She stops. I'm fighting it as hard as I can.
Ugh, just look at you. She's totally destroyed your career. Now she's breaking your heart.
She's flaunting her lovers all over town. Everyone knows.
Yeah, do you know about that? Everyone does.
So he's like, I've been so weak for so long. I should have divorced her a long time ago. First thing tomorrow, I'm going to get a divorce.
Well, first thing Monday morning, the latest on Tuesday.
That's exactly what she wants is California.
Yeah, divorce in California.
50%, baby.
You have no talent for poverty.
So she has a plan.
Right. He's like, well, there's nothing I can do. She's like, oh, yes, there is.
Tonight, while she's asleep, sneak down to the study and take each kind of wine
He
glass.
comes down with a tux and candelabra to do like all of this. This fantasy scene is like amazing.
Take this Narcanol and coat each glass.
As you know, it is a very powerful alcohol-based sedative.
Tomorrow, I'll call to say goodbye and have me invited over for dinner.
Why don't you just come over for dinner?
And no matter which glass she drinks from, the Narcanol will be all over the glass.
Right, we'll propose a toast, and then we must work quickly. First, we finish dinner. Then we take her up to Mulholland.
And report seeing a drunk driver dangerously close to the edge.
There's a drunk woman on Mulholland, swerving dangerously close to the edge.
Sit her up in the driver's seat, pour out so much alcohol.
So much alcohol. And,
Like, what the fuck? She
they're
would have been
probably
dead of
gonna-
alcohol poisoning.
Well, yeah, but like they would have checked, especially with that.
That
Jack
whether
would have
she
made it,
drank
like,
the
if she would
alcohol.
have drank the alcohol, and if
Yes.
she would have like braked before, if she was swerving dangerously close to the edge. I mean, it's a flawed system, but you never know. It's drama.
She's a writer.
Yeah, she's right. Right?
We're gonna wedge her foot on the accelerator, clamp her hands to the steering wheel, and send her over the cliff.
And they'll just call it another drunk driving accident.
Case closed. And now is this the scene?
This is where they stamp the case closed. You see the jar with the brain in it that's labeled abnormal, which is a nod to Young Frankenstein, which we just did and just learned about recently. Because I never noticed that before.
I didn't either.
Did you?
Madeline's dead. We're free. And he starts to panic.
Yeah,
I'm not a killer.
Right. She's like, well, if she's doing this to you.
This is the only way you're going to be happy.
Right. He's like, so it'd be self-defense.
Yes.
It's self-defense.
So Madeline's on her way home, admiring herself in the side view mirror.
And Helen slips out the gate.
So Madeline comes in. Ernest sees her.
She goes up to play dress up in her new body.
To admire her svelte new figure.
Yes. And Ernest is doing some thinking again.
He confronts her and is like, did you change your hair?
Yeah, like he's
What
only
an
have to
eye.
Yeah, what an eye.
She heads to the stairs and he calls her cheap.
And she's like, what did you call me?
Cheap, tacky little tramp.
Oh, yeah. That's what you should call me when you're a tragic, boozy, flaccid clown.
That's it.
You're not
Flaccid.
even flaccid.
Flaccid.
You're not even a man anymore, and I need a man. Maybe I should hook up with one of your clients. At least I know I'll be getting something stiff.
You're as dead below the waist as your client.
Yeah. He was like,
He starts choking her like Homer Simpson style.
right. And he's like, you think I was just going to take it forever, Madeline?
And he's holding her at the top stairs. She begs for her life.
Right. And he's like, what am I doing? And he lets her go, and she's got her little tippy
toes
on the edge of the thing. And she's like, help me. And, like, hurry up, you wimp. And
he's like,
boop, boop.
One finger to the chest,
One
and
little
she
nudge.
crack, 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 crack,
Oh,
crack,
she
crack.
breaks her neck immediately and lands
Falls
in a heap
hard.
at the bottom. Legs akimbo,
Head backward.
arm over the back of her, and Arnest.
He comes down and checks her
shook
pulse.
it. Right.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And he immediately calls Helen.
Right. And she just spills it talking about, I pushed her down the stairs and she's dead. She's stone cold dead. And she's like,
This was not the plan.
exactly what part of the plan were you unclear on?
And you can see Madeline's body twitching in the background.
It's like, we went over it 3 times. If it's like, how is it? Did you call the police? He's like, no, I called you first. She's like,
Great.
If they check the phone records, they're going to think it's weird that you called me first. Like, just say you were on the phone with me. You heard her scream. And when you turned around, she was at the foot of the stairs.
And at this point, she's approaching, walking backward because her head is turned around. Ernest!
You pushed me down the stairs.
He's just like, stay away from me!
Right? Don't come near me or touch me. Don't come near me or follow me or touch me or talk to me.
I don't intend to.
Right? She's like, she can't even work.
Trying to
things
call
right.
911
She's like,
and her head's backwards.
Right. It's just like,
You're in the shit house now, pal.
right, 911, right? And she's like, look at yourself. She's like, my ass.
I can see my ass.
It's like, there's something really wrong with your neck, too.
I would say so. I would friggin' well say so.
What's wrong with me?
It's a dislocated neck. It can happen. I've never seen it happen, but it can happen.
Like, yeah, so fix it.
And she springs her own head back around
He's like,
because
I don't
he won't
even know
do
where
it.
to begin. And she like, fine, I'll do this. And she's like,
Oh, those bones just sticking
oh,
out of
God,
the side.
it's so.
I think I need a doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, so he takes it to the H, he takes it to the O, he
Take it to the S, take it to the P, the TAL.
Take it to the hospital.
And the car crashes the car
She's
into
in
the emergency
death's
room.
Door.
Doctor, she's at death's
She's
door.
at death's door.
I fell down the stairs.
Yeah. Oh, whoopsie.
Anything broken?
I don't know. Like
My
it would
neck
hurt,
hurts.
right?
My
Like,
wrist.
Kind of feels stiff. So he's like, well, let me look at your wrist, like my right wrist. He's like, does this hurt? She's like, no. And he's like bending it
All the way back. This
Like, are
doesn't
you
hurt.
Sure that this doesn't hurt? And she's like, no.
So he goes to look at her neck.
He's like, oh God. Like he's like, I don't know, like maybe she's in shock. He's like, yeah, it could be shock. So he goes in to like listen to her heart, and he thinks the stethoscope
He
is
just
broken.
throws it away.
And he's like, and then he throws it out and he gets another one. He's like,
Checks her temperature.
yeah, I wonder if I could have a sip of that. And he takes a nitro pill.
He takes a sip of Ernest's flask.
Right. And he's like, well, as far as I could tell, your wrist is fractured in 3 places and you've shattered 2 vertebrae and your body temperature is below 80 and your heart has stopped beating.
What does that mean?
You know what? I'm going to get a second opinion.
If he leaves and the Ernest checks her and is like, oh, God, you're in
Right.
violation of every natural law I
But
know.
He's like, I violated what law?
You're sitting there, you're talking to me, but you're dead.
Right. And
I'm going to
like,
get help.
Oh, she faints because she realizes now that she is still alive. She's dead, but she's still alive because of the potion. So now
He runs out looking for the doctor and he's having a fucking heart attack.
he can't find anybody because they're all in there.
They're
trying
all
to
treating
save
the doctor having
who
a heart
has
attack.
Died. Like there's flatline. He's not coming back from this. So he never told anybody. So
Nope.
they're able to, whatever.
Yeah,
So
so he goes back for Madeline and she's gone.
right, like she's not here, sir. Like
They took her to the morgue.
the morgue. She'll be furious. So like I love and I hate the nuns on skates. I love.
I was just going to say, I put floating nuns. Tessa, your favorite.
No, well, like the things with the hats. At least they didn't have the hats too.
Yes,
That
floating
would have
down
been
the hall.
awful. I guess this is part of like a cut scene that involved the nuns in the morgue. But,
Okay.
that's why they're crying because like a priest died or some shit. But anyway, they cut it out. But yeah, that's why they're. I love that they're on skates like that. Like nuns shouldn't travel any other way.
So he goes in and finds her in a drawer.
Right.
And she wakes up and realizes where she is.
Ernest, I'm in the morgue.
He's like, no, but I understand it now. This has never happened in the whole of recorded medical history. It's a sign, an omen, a burning bush.
Burning bush. We're meant to be together. It's a miracle.
I'm being challenged, don't you see? So meanwhile, Helen is lurking outside their house.
She's got her sneaky fit on, beret and all.
Sees him pull up and runs up in her little spy gear to get the gate before the gate closes.
Looks like Kim Possible.
Yes. Bum, ba-dum, bum. She sees him pull a body out of the car. She climbs
"What
the
the fuck
fence
is
and
going
flips
on?"
over the top.
Yes.
And she hears the car pulling up and drops to the
Oh,
ground.
fuck. And she almost gets run the fuck over her head.
She runs out the gate, follows in her car, and sees him getting formaldehyde and other stuff in
He's
his
gone
trunk.
to the mortuary where he works, I guess. And then he goes back to put her back together and preserve her. And he's painting her body and he's wearing that Kiss the Cook apron.
Yes, and the phone won't stop
Like,
ringing.
Who keeps calling?
He goes downstairs to get something, and Helen is down there with a shovel, a rope, and a tarp.
Are you doing something funny with Madeline?
What's on your hands? Is that blood?
It's paint.
Just
Right.
cough her up.
Right. Stop yelling. She's resting. Like, she's not resting.
She's
dead.
Just like we wanted. Just like we
plotted.
plotted.
She was a
Shh.
home wrecker.
Shh.
She was a man eater.
Shh.
And she was a bad actress.
And then you hear nails. If she's not dead, you tell her to come down here and kiss me on the
Kiss me on the what?
mad
Hell.
darling.
What have you been plotting down here? Or should I say, what else?
Are you angry, dear?
Are you very angry? And she like stomps out of the room. Like, Helen, I think you should leave right away.
I see a very bad situation developing here.
And sure enough, she comes back with that hunting rifle double barrel. Cow!
I just want you to know one thing, Hell.
You brought this on yourself.
Cacao! Shoots her through the guts with the shotgun.
She goes flying into
dies
the
in
pond.
the little pond.
Bloop.
These are the moments that make life worth living.
She's dead. She is.
What are they going to do? Put me in the gas chamber?
Right. Well, what about life in prison? That'd be bad for somebody in your condition. And he's like, well, what about the neighbors? She's like, neighbors?
In 12 years in Los Angeles, have
you
you ever
ever-
seen a neighbor?
No, we're gonna bury her in Death Valley, and
You and I.
yeah, like, and he's like, no, and she's like, ain't nobody could play dead like me, Ernest. And he was like, well, I'll get the shovels.
And so what if the police should get an anonymous call about you
right.
and me on the floor, and I'm on the floor not breathing, no pulse?
Do you know what they do to soft, bald Republicans in prison?
I'll get the shovel.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah.
She's like, she even paid for the hardware. Don't you just love it?
So they're unfolding the tarp to get ready to dispose of Helen when she sits up and spits
Like-
out some water, and all this water pours out of this hole in the
then
middle.
You can see them through that hole.
Talking about it, yeah.
I can't necessarily believe. I mean, I guess I can believe that it beat out Alien 3 and Batman Returns for the Oscar that
Yeah.
year. But it's
For the effects Oscar.
right because I mean, I guess Jurassic Park wouldn't have
That was
happened
pretty
without
good.
all of it.
That's pretty good.
Industrial Light and Magic.
That was totally uncalled for.
Right.
And they like back away like,
Yeah, look at me. I'm soaking wet.
there seems to be something wrong with your blouse.
I have a hole in my stomach.
And so Madeline realizes she's got the pin.
Well, she's like, you're still alive. He's like, it's another miracle.
Yeah, she sees the pin. You took the potion.
So did you. And then when did you take it? And she says October 26, 1985, which you said, Kim, was the day that Marty McFly goes back in town is what I was going to say. Gotta go back in time. Gotta go back in time.
I stopped to take a drink and I didn't mean to leave you hanging where you felt like you needed a second verse.
I guess we're doing it again. Second verse. Same as the first. Won't get better. It's going to get worse.
So Ernest realizes this is not a miracle.
Right.
You're a walking fraud, Helen, and I can see right through
through
you. I would stay out of a two-piece for a while.
Right. And then Helen hits her in the head with the
Oh, my
shovel and like
God.
fucks up Ernest's work.
And so she said, so this part where she hits her with the shovel in the behind the scenes thing, she said the very first time she did it, it made her stomach hurt, like to do the fake, but to hit whatever she had to hit with the shovel. And she goes, and then I started to like it. She was like, then it was kind of like,
well, then I
ooh.
guess also there's like Meryl Streep cut Goldie Hawn's face
Oh,
on
did she?
accident with like
with
one
the
of
shovel fight.
during the shovel fight.
They don't mention
The
that.
splintered piece or something, like something broke off and like cut her in the face.
So yeah, she knocks her head back. Damn, I just fixed this.
Right.
She flips her head back forward.
Right. Shovel fight. On guard, bitch.
Girls, let's just calm down. Clang.
Yeah, like I don't know why you tried to beat me. I always win.
But you never played for what did
Yeah,
you say?
fair.
Fair.
Like, yeah, and who cares how I played? I won.
Ernest is like, I'll just be upstairs.
Right, I'm just gonna
He's
go
outta here.
upstairs while y'all fight this out. And like Madeline throws that stick through Helen's hole. She's like,
Yes!
no, oh. She's like, wait, what are we even doing? We can't even
This
inflict
is
pain on
pointless.
each other.
Yeah.
And then
so
like
I will
Helen
not
bops her head down.
I
She's
will
like,
not speak to you till you put your head on straight.
Right, she's like, I'll tell you about Payne, Bobby O'Brien, Scott Hunter, Ernest Menville. I loved every one of them and they love me. And that's what she tells. I will not speak to you until your head is on straight. It's like, you attacked me first.
You started it when you and your snotty friends were saying I was cheap behind my
Thought I
back.
was cheap.
You never invited me to your parties.
Right, she's like, well, we didn't think you were comfortable because, you know, we weren't used to having trash around the house. No.
And she's trying to hold her head up by her hair while she's
Just, like,
talking.
whatever. And then like she sits down.
And that
with the
shovel
thing
handle comes
oh,
to her stomach.
It's so good.
So Madeline admits to stealing her men and hurting her on purpose.
Right. And she was like, okay,
They
I thought you were
apologize.
cheap. And like Ernest is upstairs packing up. And they come up to tell him, oh, we made up. And like,
We're besties now.
like the shadow, you could see the hole in her stomach. It's so good. And she's like, well, Helen needs help and Madeline needs fix.
And he's like, I'm out of here. And they're like, no, you can't.
No, like for old time's sake, please.
Fine, I'll help you on the condition that I get to go once I do
Right.
this and you never look for me.
You don't talk to me ever again. She's like, okay, cool.
And like, why are Goldie's eyes white and Meryl's are not?
Well,
in
they
this?
painted her eyes. He was painting her eyes.
Oh, that's right. So they would have been white
Yeah,
if
they
he
would
hadn't
have
done
been.
that. Okay.
Mhm.
So he's throwing the old pics in the trash.
Right.
He's got the ladies looking gorgeous.
They're all fixed up. And then Madeline accidentally peels some paint off of Helen. And they're like,
Ooh.
oh, no, like we can't let him go. Like, what if we need touch-ups? Like, what are we going to do?
We got to take him to Liesel.
And even then, yeah, he's not going to live forever. So we got to take him to Liesel.
So they bring him some breakfast, a.k.a. Scotch on the Rocks.
Right. And he like monologues about, why didn't I do this 5 years ago, 10 years ago? I made a promise and that meant everything. And like, Ernest, your drink.
Drink your drink.
Right.
And he's like,
well, I
nope.
lived up to my promise till death do us part. And well,
you're dead.
you girls are dead. Cheers.
outta here.
And he's like, you know what else? I drink too much.
Pours it out in the plant. And so they hit him over the head instead.
They each have a vase. They
Yes.
on hand, just ready to go.
So
We got to
they do-
have those at Green Garden, just a vase on hand at all times.
They take him to Liesel.
He wakes up in the pool room with a tux.
And
she's
she
out
is
there-
swimming in the pool.
She got her shoes on in the pool.
And yeah, they bring her a towel and she is skinny dipping in a scarf and heels is what it appears to be.
Yeah, she gets out. She's having her pre-party swim.
And she's sorry that Harry and Dick had to dress him.
Right, like you were improperly attired.
She is having a party she has every spring for her clients. And this robe.
Right. Oh my God, that Whoosh.
That collar. Oh my
God,
fucking
I
God.
guess it
I
was
love
held
it.
together with magnets.
Yes, that's what she said. Yeah.
Oh, I want it.
She wants to give him a present. The
Right.
gift of life and youth forever.
Mm-hmm.
She unveils the potion, tells him he does brilliant work, and asks to see his hand. And she
Right.
gives him the one young hand.
She does the demo.
What are you doing? I'm loving you.
Right. And like,
And-
yeah, she shows him what it could be. And like, she's like, oh, you gave others your youth and wasted your own. And like, don't be modest. That's what you do. You stop time. Drink. Siempre viva. Live forever.
It is the completion of your life's work. You gave other people youth and wasted your own.
Right.
And then he's like, wait a minute.
Well, then what? Then what happens?
I don't want to live forever.
Right? That sounds good. But what am I going to do? Who am I going to hang around with? Madeline and Helen?
Right? But you'll never get old.
He's like, yeah, but everyone else around me will. And I'm going to have to watch everybody I know and love die.
And she's like, get the potion from him.
Right. Tom, Dick, Harry.
She throws the dagger into the light switches and he throws it and then he takes off.
Right. And she's like, don't worry. He won't get far. Not at his age. Not at all of his 37 years.
Right? He runs into this party where you see Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe,
And Greta Garbo.
Elvis. Yep.
I want to be alone.
And Mad and Hell see Ernest in the crowd with the vial. The room is sealed.
Right. Chagall is there saying that Lisa will be down in a very few minutes. And I would like to remind everybody about the strict policy about popping up in public to get a few headlines. I won't mention
Elvis.
any names, but you know who you are.
And Elvis is laughing in the crowd.
Well, I'm just trying to have some fun, man.
So Ernest gets in the elevator and goes up of all directions.
Well, they see him, and she's like, he still looks like hell. He
Yeah.
hasn't taken the potion.
So they come after him.
He takes the dog elevator because they sell.
Yes.
He couldn't get out anywhere else. He had to go somewhere, so
Yeah.
he went up, I guess.
So he sees the exit across and tries to climb on the roof to get across, but Mad and Hell come out and scare him into
Right.
falling off the roof.
Oh boy!
And his suspenders are snagged by like a rain gutter.
Right, and it's like dangerous as fuck all, and like you'll die if you fall. You have to take the potion.
You still have it?
Right, drink it.
After you fall, you
Drink
can
it.
put yourself together again.
Right.
And he's like,
She's like, you have to. We need you. And he's like, sorry,
sorry,
my
dears.
You're on your own.
his suspenders snap and
Down, 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 and then whoosh, through that stained glass into the pool.
But he's alive.
Well, they don't even check. They just leave.
He gets out, goes to the valet, steals a car.
He gets caught by Jim Morrison in a date. Like, you going to be done here soon or what?
And Liesel's like, it would be better for both of you to get him back.
Yes, and he steals James Dean's spider. Maybe they gave the car the potion too because they never found it.
That's true.
I mean, it was wrecked.
He just kept it with him.
Right. He just
Had it repaired.
pieces.
So the girls are arguing now about not being able to find him, and they're already both peeling.
Right. They go back to the house, but he's gone. They're like,
This is
why
so
would we come here
embarrassing.
first? Yeah. Like, it's a question of maintenance. Like, I'll paint your ass and you paint mine.
Who could have imagined painting each other's asses day and night forever? 37 years later.
That's going to be us painting each other's asses for 37 years later.
And they're in a church at a funeral.
And it's Ernest's funeral. And they say, life begins at 50.
That's what Ernest felt, that life began at 50.
In the MTV video games.
So now we can talk about his wife Claire. So it says he met his wife Claire, had 2 sons and 4 daughters, and like a biblical patriarch
bunch
began
of
to spread his
adopted
message
children.
of hope to his adopted children
All around the world. And he was a rugged outdoorsman and a lifelong learner. And he had a women's studies and a marriage counseling and his AA chapter.
So the alternate scenes that were
Yes.
filmed here, which we will post a very short clip that we found in
that's
whatever photos we
what
can
we could
find of
find.
this taken out clip, was Tracy Ullman
She had a
was
whole
Claire.
part. Or no, well, her name was
whatever.
Tony.
Her
in
name
the
was Tony,
thing.
but she was the wife. She was the one that married him, but that she had a part where they tricked Mad and Hell into thinking Ernest was dead.
Right.
So that they would stop looking for him. Because I don't know why they stopped looking for him. They knew he wasn't dead.
They just assumed he
I
dead.
Well, but
I'll say
Liesel,
you.
no, they knew he wasn't because Liesel told him it would be better for you both to get him
No,
back.
they said that
No, that was after he fell through the thing. So they knew he was alive.
Well, they do say when they go back to the house that we can't go back to Liesl's and we can't go back.
So they knew he was alive, but they just never found him because he went to.
Well, they didn't know where to start.
But so the first ending was that she helped him get away. They lived happily ever after. And then what was it that they
went
found
to Europe and they started a new life together. And many years later, Madeline and Helen, looking all like they do at the funeral, they go to Switzerland on vacation. They're completely bored, and they notice an elderly couple that are they become envious of them because they're all affectionate. And then when they get in the car to drive away, they realize that it's Ernest and Tony was the name. And then they chase after them only to be hit by an oncoming car, and then they break up into pieces like this ending that we have.
Okay. So instead, they sit through the funeral and then they're cackling in the back of the church.
She's like starts to cry. And like, who could forget Ernest the prankster, Ernest the storyteller? And who can forget the tales of
his tall tales about the living dead in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Beverly Hills. And she they start laughing and they're like, "Oh God, you need a touch up." She's like, "Where's that number 9 acrylic?"
I must have dropped it somewhere. Let's get the hell out of here.
Right. And they as they're leaving, they hear the pastor talking about that he discovered the secret to everlasting life, and they stop.
It was in the hearts of his friends and in the lives of his children and grandchildren. He was one man who will indeed live forever.
Blah, 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 blah. Walk out. Like everyone's looking at them.
They pull up their veils and their faces are a fucking mess.
You made a mess of yourself. They're both messes.
They're all runny.
Yeah, like you're going to need a little Bondo on the chin, babe.
They were all stiff walking with their legs.
How did you lose that thing? Like you get to carry the tiny purse and I have to carry the big purse to carry the cans. And they're arguing as you could see the can on the steps.
And she trips over the can of spray paint.
Help me. My legs aren't working.
And Mads is going to let her fall. But she's like, nah, bitch. She grabs her. Takes her with. And they shatter to pieces at the bottom of the stairs.
Do
we
you
see
remember
the fingers
when
tapping.
You parked the car?
And what was the aftermath of this?
I know.
Did they put themselves back together?
Did their pieces crawl together?
You're telling me the funeral patrons didn't come out and find pieces of these two women just laying at the bottom of the church steps? There's no wrap up on how they got put back together like Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, I would like to see the reaction of the funeral goers leaving there.
Yeah,
and seeing
seriously.
Their bits,
they gotta be
the hand tapping on the thing.
Yeah,
could you
living
gather
parts.
us in a bag? What would you even do? That'd be the end of that. She warned you. Take care of yourself. I wonder what Liesl was doing at that moment. Probably doing the backstroke. I would imagine.
Her body double was anyway.
Keep your ass handy.
So yes, we love this movie. There's nothing not to love about this movie.
Every single part of it is funny.
And I don't know.
I would like to see the alternate endings. I would like to see the Tracy Ullman cut. Release the Tracy Ullman cut.
That's what we're protesting for.
Hashtag release the Tracy Ullman cut is probably terrible. That was the thing, is that people didn't like it. No, people didn't like it at all.
So I'm sure they changed it for good reason.
I'm sure there was, but I would still like to say, because I love Tracy Ullman.
Oh, for sure. I used to watch the Tracy Ullman show back in the day.
I did indeed. That's where I saw The Simpsons.
Yep.
I remember that. Remember that shit.
So we have one yearbook signing.
Ooh, fantastic.
This is an email from Jason, who is 8 and Skate on Instagram, like the number 8 and SK, the number 8 and Skate on Instagram. Discovered your podcast from your guest appearance on the 88 Miles Per Hour podcast. Since then, I've been going through the episodes and I'm really enjoying it. You two have awesome chemistry together and are very funny.
Hey, that's another one. Got him.
Sorry, 88 Mile Per Hour. We stole 2 of your listeners.
Well, no, you could do 2 things at once.
That's true. You don't have to stop listening to one.
It doesn't have to be a competition. There's
listen
room
to
for
another.
everybody. There's ears enough for everybody.
So if you want us to read your little review on the show,
We'll do it.
Apple review. Send us an email titled Yearbook. DoomGenerationPodcast@gmail.com.
Send us a voicemail.
We'll
like
play
those.
voicemails. We'll just play it on the show. 702-720-DOOM.
You could do whatever you want.
I
Jack
promise
Nicholson
we won't
did.
answer. Go straight to voicemail. Don't get
No one's gonna
paranoid
answer.
about oh no, what if I call and they answer? And it's just a regular phone number.
What if their mom answers?
If you're in another country and you want to leave a voicemail, there is a link on our link tree on Instagram to leave us just one you can record through your phone, on the Anchor app. So you can leave us one of those if you're not from here. But yes, we love those. And if you want to, whoever left the impression of Jack Nicholson, you got more characters, somebody else you want to call in as a character, we love it.
Love it. We love
Do
all
it
of
to
it.
it.
We survive off of attention.
Seriously,
that's what it is.
You
It's our
guys
food.
will wilt without it. It's my
We're gonna
birthday.
die. You want us to die? It's Nicole's
It's my birthday. It's gonna be Tessa's birthday in 2 weeks.
I know. You got to do it.
Gotta give us some love.
We need gifts.
Patreon.com/Doom Give us some gifts. Give us some gifts. If you give us some money, we will give you some things back. It's not like you don't get nothing for your money.
This is sounding really
Get some
sad.
Please,
sad.
please,
Come on.
May I have your $2 a month?
I'm fading away, just like the picture in Back to the Future.
Which was a Robert Zemeckis film.
We talked about this.
Happy spooky season to you, and we will be back with
Mid
another
spooky
extra
season.
spooky movie for you next week.
Yeah, I guarantee you go enjoy it.
Talk to you next week.
Until then.
Later,
Doomers.